You're drowning in AI model choices every single day, spending precious time second-guessing whether GPT-4 or Claude, or one of the dozens of other models is right for your specific task. But here's what 95% of AI users don't realize. There's actually a systematic way to eliminate this decision paralysis forever. Most people think you need to be an AI expert to choose the right model, but what if I told you that the smartest approach is to let AI choose itself? I'm Evan Goldstein. I'm a licensed professional engineer and a data scientist, and building AI capitalist to help you conquer the business world with AI. Today's task is to build an AI system that automatically selects the optimal large language model for any given automation task. Now, this is valuable because it eliminates the guesswork and the analysis paralysis that wastes hours of your time every week, and it ensures you get the maximum performance at minimum cost. First, we're going to scrape and analyze every available AI model's capability and pricing data. Then we're going to build a context-aware decision engine that weighs performance against cost automatically. A reward at the end is going to be a system that selects the perfect AI model in about a minute. And it's more accurate and knowledgeable than any human could possibly do. Okay, I'm going to give away a little bit of the secret sauce here. So what you're looking at in this window is an automation. And this is within N8N. There are a number of different programs or online tools available to run automations. You've got make.com, Zapier, no one knows how to pronounce that one. I use N8N because it allows a lot of flexibility for coding and because it's open source. Anyway, this particular automation helps me review papers. There are hundreds and hundreds of papers published every day about artificial intelligence. And so I'm looking for the ones that are the most relevant to what I'm trying to accomplish. So I take a scrape of all of these papers, the abstracts, and then I sort through them. I have a model doing that, and then I do a little write-up about them that shoots me an email every morning about which paper, selects one paper that's the most relevant to what I'm trying to figure out, and then summarizes it for me. Anyway, that's the task. Within this automation, there are a number of different AI agents operating. So in this case, we've scraped the data and then it's executed by another workflow. So there's another one that then shoots it to this, and I go through 20 different sources and each one produces one article. Now in this case, it's doing news stories. So here's the first news story: Intel's executive of products departs among other leadership changes. Okay, great. Now there's dozens and dozens of news stories within this block here that's coming in. I want this LLM to sort through it, but here's where most people hit their first major roadblock, and it's not what you think. I have access to dozens of different models through OpenRouter, and each has completely different pricing structures, different capabilities, and different context windows. There's absolutely no way any human can keep track of all this information effectively, especially since it's changing all the time. So I'll go to a previous. Now here's my question. I have so many options here of different models. I use OpenRouter. I could attach any node to this that I want to from any LLM. I could do an OpenAI one. I could attach Claude, whatever. But in the case of OpenRouter, it has access to all these different models. Pricing's slightly better, but not great. The main thing is to have everything in one place, so I don't have to constantly be detaching and reattaching little nodes to this LLM, this large language model node. And this node is going to select the winner based on the criteria. So here's the question. Which of these models do I use? Each model has its own price, and each model has its own skills, and its own context window, and its own effectiveness. Now, I'm not a genius. I can't keep up with all this information. So how do we select the right model? What I'm about to show you is going to completely change how you approach AI model selection forever. Instead of just guessing or going with whatever is trending on YouTube or popular, and probably more expensive, by the way, we're going to build a systematic context that makes these decisions automatically, and the results are going to surprise you. What we're going to do, we're going to build context. Context is like the universe that the AI operates in. So I'll take all these models here. Oops. Okay, I've highlighted all the models that are offered by N8N. Then I'm going to come over here, or by OpenRouter rather, that I can use in N8N. Next step. I go to perplexity.ai. I have the pro account, so I can do a deep research project on this. Now, this is where things get really interesting. And by the way, if you're finding my content valuable, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button, because it helps spread this content to others and really grows the channel. Much appreciated. So what comes next is pure gold. I'm going to use AI to systematically research other AI models, gathering not just technical specs, but real user experiences from across social media. Now, you could do this in a lot of different models offer deep research. I just happen to like Perplexity. Okay, first I paste in all these model names. Actually, this is too many to go through at once. Just knowing the limitations of Perplexity, how long it will spend on projects. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a note. So I've pasted it into this notes here. You can see the master list of all the different models that are available that I copied out of my node. What I want to do is get an analysis on each of these nodes. I don't know what each of these models is best for and which provides the best value. So you've got capabilities, you've got context window, and you've got price. So what I did is I wrote a deep research prompt. I said, please read through this list of available LLMs. For each one, you should write a paragraph or two about how it scores on standard benchmarks, what it's best used for, and then perform some research on user reactions across the web. So I'm asking it to go out into social media and to go find people who've already used this and let me know what their experiences were. And then write a paragraph or two about those for each one. Now, I know that this is way too many to put into one prompt, so I'll just take this. I'll just copy my main prompt I wrote. I have it switched on to research mode. And then I come here and I switch on social. So it's going to search through social media as well for sources. I want to know what real life experiences of people were. Then I'm going to come through. I'll go up, maybe take these guys, copy, paste, and go. So it's going to take 3 or 4 minutes for each batch of these. And I'm going to do this batch wise. Now this is a cooking show, AI cooking show. So I've already done all this for you. Here's what most people never realize about AI model selection. The secret is not in the technical specifications. The real magic happens when you combine performance data with actual user experiences and cost analysis, creating a decision matrix that no human could process manually. So here you can see I've gone through, and for each one, it's writing a paragraph or so. Good 0103 series of ChatGPT, of OpenAI's ChatGPT. It's exceptional mathematical capabilities. They're designed for complex problem solving. This is what it's good for. And it has significantly higher costs per million tokens than other models. Okay, so I've gone through all these models. I've done them piecewise like this and built up one giant record of reviews, or multiple records, for every model available, telling me exactly how to use it, what to use it for. Now I just copy paste these into a document, which is hidden back here. So I've got one master document with the sources now. And then I save that as LLM descriptions. Next I'm gonna do a search. Never use Google anymore. Okay, so I did a Perplexity search, found where the open routers, pricing pages. Here we go. Some of these guys are free, almost free. There's a little free here, right? And then it starts low and goes high. And it gives you the context window, the number of tokens for each one. This is important later because we're gonna show it how much input we're giving it, and it's gonna be able to make that judgment for us. So I copied all this into a spreadsheet, and what I didn't realize before was that when you do it as an Excel file, the language model we're going to work with, we're building a project in a minute, needs to actually parse this out, which adds some time. So I'd rather do this as just a document. But we're just getting started. The real breakthrough comes when we combine this research with live pricing data. And what you're about to see is how AI can make valuable judgments that would take a human analyst hours to calculate. Okay, now I've made it just a table in a document. I'll just call it LLM pricing and context. All right, so we've got our context data. Most LLMs that are on the chatbot format have projects where you can set up a project where you have specific context for that specific task. In this case, I'm going to use Claude, but there's a lot of them out there. You could do the same thing in GPT. I'm just using Claude because it's my favorite for this task. Okay, and because I have a paid subscription. Projects, new project, LLM selector. Now I've written up a prompt here for the basic project. What are you trying to achieve? Assist in selecting the ideal LLM for specific tasks within N8N when given input, output, and prompt. This is just a basic description. The project instructions are going to go here. Here's the instructions. I'm saying is that you're a subject matter expert on the capabilities of LLMs. I'm giving it that persona. I'm building LLMs and automations in N8N that incorporate agentic tasks, image generation, writing, whatever. I want to get the best value out of this. So if I have a top line super expensive models available, but another model provides 95% of the quality and the functionality, but it comes only 20% of the cost, select the cheaper model. But if it's got 70% of the functionality, especially regarding the writing of prose, select a more expensive model. Here's the moment where everything that we've built comes together, and the results are going to be surprising. After feeding it all of our research data, the pricing information, and specific task requirements, the AI delivers a recommendation that's more thorough than anything a human consultant could ever provide. I'm telling you what I'm going to provide it with. I'm going to give it the incoming data, the prompt, and a sample of the outgoing data. And then I'm asking it to make a judgment call and select the best value, and then output the model name and give some explanation. Okay, copy that here. Bang. Save instructions. Go to Files, and I upload the 2 files I just built. The pricing and context, that was what I got from the Open Router website. LLM descriptions. Okay, now we're ready to go. Okay, so here we are. We've built our project. We built our context first. Then we went and built the project that incorporates that context, and now we're going to put it to use. So I find with Claude, sometimes I have to specifically tell it to use the instructions within the project, or else it will just go on the fritz and try to solve it itself as if it weren't in a project. So I'm saying use the instructions within this project to select an appropriate LLM for the N8N task at hand based on the context I'm giving you. Here's another shortcoming of Claude. When you paste things into Claude, it tends to put them as separate little items, like context items, instead of making a part of your master prompt here. So one thing I do, we'll go here. We're going to start here. This writes a conclusion for the article. What I've already predefined all of my personal values, AI capitalist outlook. So I'm going to come in here. Here's the user message. So I copy the full user message. So here's the user prompt. Blah, blah, blah. Wrong. That's incoming data. Incoming data. Now we say user prompt. Wait, what am I saying? That is the user prompt. User prompt. I actually realized I need to add a system prompt. The system prompt is where you're defining what it is. This is a style guide. This tells it, I wrote this elsewhere in the automation. I wrote this on a Google Doc and I pull it into the automation. So I can always modify the Google Doc much more easily than going into the automation. And this defines my writing style, how I want it to output. So I define the system prompt, incoming data, and these prompts are within this incoming data. There's the incoming data. Here's the outgoing data. Okay, this is all the context that it needs for this particular task. So I'm just going to come here. Hey, use the instructions I gave you. Here's the data. And use your project, what I gave you. Go. And now we wait. And we have some output here now. About 5 minutes later. What happens next changes everything about how you'll think about AI decision-making. Not only does it recommend Claude 3.5 Haiku as the primary choice, but it provides a complete decision tree with alternatives like 3.5 Sonnet and Mistral models. Plus, it explains why free alternatives from Open Router often fail in production environments. So here's some blah blah about it's analyzing what it's doing. Recommendation is Claude 3.5 Haiku. Now I just wanted to provide some alternates in case Haiku isn't working well. With 3.5 Haiku, just my own experience with it, it's okay. We might do the job. But it's given me alternatives of Claude 3.5 Sonnet, Mistral. I'm really interested in using more Mistral models. And then it gave me some of the free alternatives. My experience using free alternatives from Open Router, they have these basic different models you can use that are, but my experience with it is that they have certain requirements. So if you have a certain amount of credit with them, they will give you like 1,000 prompts a day to their free models. They don't really do that. They don't live up to it. My experience is that they'll just cut you off after a few prompts and then your automations aren't working anymore and it's not worth it. It's better to get a cheap model that's paid. So I'm going to come over to the automation, 3.5 Sonnet, go over to settings. I'm going to enter in the notes the overall recommendations with the backup models. So once I run this automation, if I'm finding that the writing quality isn't good enough or it just can't hack it or something's not working, then it will go through, then I can go down this list and start trying other models and I already have the work done for me. And that's how you do it. So that's how we do it. You use AI to build the context, move the context into a specialized AI for decision making, and then use that AI of decision making to actually run through the changes and make the decisions. It takes about half an hour to set something like this up, but if you're spending hours and hours doing this kind of work, AI just cleared away those hours. It's a small upfront investment for a huge return on investment. So here are the big picture AI capabilities that we uncovered today. AI can systematically research and evaluate other AI systems at scale. Number 2, context-aware decision-making eliminates human analysis paralysis. Number 3, automated model selection optimizes for both performance and cost efficiency. And 4, meta AI systems can create specialized decision-making frameworks. What's really novel here is AI's ability to perform comprehensive market research across dozens of models and then synthesize user experience data from social media and make nuanced value judgments, balancing out cost versus performance. And this is something that would have been impossible just 6 months ago. The system reads pricing tables, processes user reviews, and applies complex decision criteria automatically. And like I said, this example is focused on engineering and facilities management tasks, or in this case, research tasks, but these capabilities can transform any industry requiring systematic data decision-making, and if you need the decision-making done fast, especially. So come on over to aicapitalist.biz and check out some of our other automations and some of the other things we're doing. Thanks for your time.